giant sand mines on land who owns 5 miles down the road is being condemned by residents who say it will destroy a unique area teeming with wildlife. Lord Cowdray, 64, has proposed to mine near the village of Bepton, near Midhurst. Locals say it will cause untold disruption and could pollute the nearby river Rover. The land is a recognised wildlife corridor and home to engaged night bear birds, of which there are just 4,600 left in the country. Mother of 3, Catherine Steele, who has lived in Bepton for 15 years, is against as Lord Cowdray's project. The beauty therapist who walks daily with her children on the land said the contractors have said this will be a positive thing for the continentality, which is crazy. There's nothing positive about digging into the South Downs National Park. A big thing, though, is about this is how hypocritical Lord Cowdray is. He completely opposed tracking on his doorstep, and for very much the same reasons are opposing this quarry plan. Mrs. Steele, 43, who lives about 300 yards from the proposed site, added, the noise would be unlivable, I'm sure, and health-wise. I don't want my children growing up breathing in debris and particles from a quarry. Loppy Gibson, 49, who bought a 5-bedroom house in the centre of the proposed site with her husband Alex in September last year, said the plans were a nightmare. The mother of 3 added, it is completely mad. Our house is like the bullseye in the middle of the site. It would be devastating for us if these plans go ahead. The noise, lorries going up and down will be terrible. I don't see how it's going to work. Our road is so narrow, they might have to build new road to access the site. It's just outrageous, they said. They also said that there is a diverse thing for us, and we moved from East Sussex to West Sussex to start a new life. We had 3 children and we wanted to raise them in the countryside. In 2013, Lord Cowdray, the major shareholder of FTSE 100 company Parson plc, was vocal in his opposition to Celtic Energy's plans to drill for oil and gas in Fernhurst. He refused permission for Catalogue to lease his stand for exploration, saying, if they find the reserves they are looking for natural, they will go on to frack to extract the gas. I don't support fracking at all, he said. A public consultation on Lord Cowdray's stand mining application ended last Monday, and West Sussex Council said is expected to make its decision known immediately. A spokesman for Lord Cowdray said, while the prescription of mineral extraction is a motive, the Cowdray estate have traditionally partnered with a firm, Raymond Brown Quarry Products Ltd, who demonstrate a track record of both protective engagement with the community and responsibility and respect for the environment and landscape. Wow, okay, that's interesting. So we're now talking about food now, as usual. We're talking about food. Now, Nigella cooks up app for food snaps. That's exciting. Hang on, before we go to that one, I just want to make a comment about the other one. Now, that is a really interesting story. That one is interesting. And it's just basically about this couple who... It's to do with fracking in their village. It's a long story. But anyway, let's move on. Right, so Nigella Lawson now, she sent us a lovely recipe. She said, it says, Nigella Lawson has long fancied her 1.6 million Instagram followers with her month-watering food photographies. And now the domestic goddess has launched a food photo app to help fans take and share their own pictures. Miss Lawson, 59, said Instagram did food no favours and said that her Foodim app was optimistic to take fabulous photos of food. She added, nearly every photograph I take is of food, so if it has always vexed me that there is no dedicated photography app, so many of the filters on generally photography apps do food no favours. The app is linked to a welcoming social network that lets foodies create a profile, post notes and recipes and edit their photos deaf of food. I think I might do this actually. When I cook my cheese rare bait and croque monsieur, my cheese food, I actually might do that. I might get on this app and send Nigella Lawson pictures of my food. Users can follow each other to discover new restaurants and dishes, and every user is automatically following Miss Lawson. The app is available to UK iPhone users. Oh, that's a shame. I haven't got an iPhone, so I can't really do that, to be honest with you. That's a shame. But anyway, who's excited for Sunday night, though? Because this Sunday, I'm excited, Victoria is back! Woo! Wow, I can't believe that. Yes, it's returning tomorrow night. Everyone's excited about it. It says Scream Victoria's glorious return. Royal drama back to reign over Sunday nights. Now, the royal family. This is about the royal family now. Victoria faces conflict on every front pregnant at the beginning of the series with her 6th child. She is having problems with her son Bertie. The Prince of Wales, Bertie, unlike his older sister Vicky, is disappointed and shows no appetite for learning today. He would be diagnosed with where I was going now. For learning today, he would be diagnosed as dyslexic. But then he was considered slow. Wow, that's interesting. Victoria and Albert are having marital strife as they clash over the role of monarchy. She wants to give her people what they want. I was sipping my tea there. Where are we? Oh yeah, what people want. That they want. Albert thinks the monarch should give the subjects that they need. He is horrified by her carving her for proposal approval, or the Queen is alarmed by Albert's discard for the press. Now, Victoria herself. Who is Victoria herself? Well, the show star Jennifer Coleman says Victoria faces a troubling question, and is she safe on the throne? Jenna, 32, explains the King of France turns up on her doorstep in rags. Having been overthrown, she actually asks whether this could happen to her. This forces her to examine her relationship with her people and what that truly means to her. To see another monarch dethroned in front of her really rocks her identity. The Queen also has to deal with Lord Palmerston and her half-sister Ferrari, which is played by Kate Fleetwood, 46. Jenna says there is a lot of unspoken history. Now tense, Victoria and half-sister Ferrari, that's what it says in the picture. Between these two, Victoria presents Ferrari of leaving her when she went off and got married. Ferrari resents Victoria for having the attention and focuses because she was there, and it is a really difficult relationship. That is really, really, really interesting, if you ask me. Right, so the next bit is visiting her real home. Now, during shooting, Jenna visited Victoria's home, which is Osborne House, on the Isle of Wight, which is in Hampshire. It was a highlight more than anywhere else. It was her familiar home, and no one has lived there since, so all the decor was designed by Albert, and her double desks are still together. Victoria's bedroom, where she kept Albert's picture and pocket watch next to her bed, is there, along with the piano stalls. I got such a strong sense of their life. That's interesting. And there's also the Great Expectation, and this is interesting as well. Basically, Tom Hughes, who was right at home on set this time round, he says we want to Palm House. They went to Palm House, which is in Liverpool, to film mixed signatures for Great Expectation. And they also said I went to youth theatre in Liverpool, so going back there was pretty special for me. And we were staying in a hotel on the same road as my youth theatre, so it was very much going back to the territory. I managed to get my family in as extras too. My mum and dad and 12 of my friends are in a Great Expectation. So I've got to say what's coming up next year. I mean, I know we haven't started this year's series off, but it's going to say what's happening for next year. So Daisy Godwin is already looking ahead, and shockingly, it could be Goodbye Albert, who died in 1861, age 42. She says, I'm worked on Series 4, and that's going to be an absolute humdinger, because somebody might die in it. Spoiler, that is a great challenge. but it's an amazingly good story. There's a lot to play with. The series may also be the last for Jenna, who admits that an older actress will be needed to play Victoria in her later years. Calling it heartbreaking, she said. You become very close to people, and you're researching as well. Now that is really, 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 really interesting. Really interesting. And if you want to see Victoria, you can see it on tomorrow night at 9 o'clock on ITV. The next series is that tomorrow night. It's going to be fantastic. And we're going to be talking about it now in our TV review, which is basically what's coming up in the TV during the week next week. So I've got to try and find whereabouts we are, because I haven't actually had a look through here yet. So basically, we need to have a look about... Oh, we've spoken about Victoria, so we don't really talk about that anymore. We're basically going to say, Hot on the Box. So what is Hot on the Box this weekend? I hear you cry. So, they've got a new series. Oh, the wildlife programme. Okay. But no, we're not doing that because we've got... Oh yeah, here we go. There is something on this weekend. Do you watch All Down to Mrs. Brown's on BBC One? Well, that's back tonight. So it says, put the kettle on and get the biscuits out. Mammy, otherwise known as Mrs. Brown, has more VIP guests popping round to her house for some good old-fashioned gossip. In the third series, Brendan O'Carroll, who was on the telly the other day, pretty mothered Irish mushroom, has a natter with guests including Anne Frey and her mum Julie, Terry Hatcher, Rob Beckett, Ollie Murs, Jane McDonald. Brendan tells them wearing his alter ego's cardigan and wig turns him into a cheeky champ. That's incredible. That's going to be... Oh yeah, Brendan O'Carroll. Oh, they had Noel Edmonds on there as well. Yeah, so if you want to see that, that's going to be on tonight on BBC One, I believe at 9:15 tonight. So yeah, so that's going to be very good. What is on next? What is on telly? EastEnders is supposed to be cracking up good as well, but I need to see what's on telly next week. Okay, so here we go. So tonight on the telly we have so from I believe 7:20 tonight on BBC One. I don't suppose you watch All Together Now, and it's presented by Rob Beckett. He hosts as the singing competition heats up with acts performing. Current hits by Christiane Najimy, Paloma Faith and Naughty Boy. That's going to be fantastic. And then we got Casualty, which is on at 8:25, and new register Archie Hudson has a baptism of fire in the Holby ED, and Duffy finally lets Charlie in on her secret after her diagnosis is confirmed. Plus, Connie regularly praises Ellie's success as acting Connie lead. And then we have All Round to Mrs. Brown's Boys, as All Round to Mrs. Brown's, which is on 9:15, as I just said. Right, on BBC Two tonight, there's something really interesting. Dad's Army is on at 8:30, and I like Dad's Army. It's a very good programme. Basically, Fraser loses a vital part of a gun he was responsible for, and causes havoc looking for it. Right, so I've got to say what's on ITV this evening. Oh my god, ITV is going to be fantastic. Despicable Me, they've got Despicable Me 2 on tonight at 6:10, I believe. 6:10 is Despicable Me. Animation with Steve Carell Grew has turned his back on a life of crime. However, when a powerful magnet is stolen, he joins forces with anti-villain League agent Lucy Wildle to try to track it down. And then, of course, at 8, it's The Voice. So it's the second of the knockout shows tonight, and the 12 acts sing for a place in the semi-finals as they try to get one step closer to winning a recording contract with Poida Records. Coaches Jennifer Hudson, will.i.am, Tom Jones and Ollie Murs can choose only one act from their teams to progress, so there are tough decisions to make. Helping the coaches and special guests are Anne-Mary James Arthur, Ollie Alexandra and Nicholas Scangeli. And then, of course, at 10... Oh, I love this programme. It's the Jonathan Ross Show. That's going to be fantastic. The presenter is joined tonight by Colin Farrell, Danny DeVito, Jimmy Carr, Nicola Adams, and Lolly Atabidi. Plus, chart-topping Lewis Capaldi performs the UK #1 single, Someone You Loved. And that's going to be brilliant. That's from 10 o'clock till 11:05 tonight, but I record that. And then, I've got to say what's on Channel 4 tonight. What's going to happen is, this is Great Canal Journeys from 7 o'clock. So Timothy West and his wife, Penelope Scales, who was in, of course, Fawlty Towers, they voyage across Italy's largest lake and along Europe's oldest working canal to the historic heart... Hang on a minute. Yeah, across Italy's largest lake and along Europe's oldest working canal to the historic heart of Milan, Their trip includes a visit to the Swiss lakeside town of Lickenow.